YouTube, it's Shir. Welcome to my channel. On today's video, I'm going to talk about the 6 things I like about my relocation from Israel to Berlin. If you haven't seen my previous video about my struggles about relocation to another foreign country, then make sure to check this video right here. So today's video is going to be about the good things about relocation for me. I have to say that it might not be applicable to like other places, but this is like mainly Berlin and mainly my issues. And of course it's always relative to what you know in your homeland or previous places that you've lived in. So keep that in mind. Let's start. The first thing I love about moving to another country, and I think this is something general, it applies to any moving from one country to another, is clean slate. You have the privilege to start over. I mean, if you move by yourself, usually. Also, if you move with a spouse or partner or anything, you can start over in a place that not many people know you or nobody knows you. For me, my big change before I moved was changing from a long, natural colored hair to a short lilac pixie. So this was like my change. No one knows me here, so I can finally do this makeover, you know? I mean, it's small things, but it makes you feel whole and free. And for me, I feel like this clean slate thing, the starting over, is very important and also very strong in my opinion. So I feel like it like shakes everything off. So it's like definitely changing everything. I mean, it could be hard, but it also has so many positive things in it. The second thing that I love about moving to another country is that you are more prone to meet international people. I mean, probably also in your hometown, there are people from many nationalities, but you don't encounter them that much because you're in your hometown and you have your friends and you have your life and you live in the language that the country is speaking. So it's kind of different. The international expats here in Berlin have so many things in common with me. So I feel like it makes sense for me to be friends with them. I feel more the internationality here after moving more than I would have felt in my hometown. Tel Aviv is also very international, I guess, but I don't see it that much because I'm not an expat there. I'm a local. So I really like it here. In the past 17 months, I think I'm here since August 2018. I met so many people from so many places around the world, and it's amazing. You get to see so many cultures and, you know, so many languages, and you see similarities and differences, and it's amazing. It's amazing to see, and it's amazing to experience, I feel like. So I highly recommend. And communities and meetups, it's a really easy way to meet new people, especially expats, international, in the city that you move to. The third thing that is so much different for me from what I used to is the cost of living. Berlin is one of the poorest capitals in Europe, I think. I mean, there are poorer cities, but if you compare it to likewise cities in size and internationality, then yeah, Berlin is a way easier city to live in, especially in compared to Tel Aviv. So yeah, cost of living here is pretty low. It's way lower than Tel Aviv, especially the rent, because in Tel Aviv I would have probably never be able to live by myself and not having roommates. And here it's possible. I mean, it's hard to find the really good rent price apartments, but it's possible, and it's still the more expensive ones are still way cheaper than what you can find in Tel Aviv, and usually are in a better condition. But it also changes because Berlin is getting more expensive by the year, and I see it even in small things like in the supermarket. Just yesterday I saw that bacon that was always 99 cents for a 100 grams package is now $1.19. So you see the price ascending every year. So in rent also you see it. So it's getting harder, but still it allows me to do way more in way less. So this is amazing, I feel like. Fourth thing I really like in Berlin specifically, I guess it's not applicable for like many other German cities. If you're an expat in Germany, not in Berlin, then tell me, like, comment below what you think about the public transport in your city. But in Berlin, it's usually really useful, and it gets you to places in a decent amount of time, even though the city is huge. So it's like very big distances and not in a really long time. in Israel and Tel Aviv, the distances are way smaller, but you still get there in a longer time. So, I mean, you have traffic and you have not functioning public transport that is also based on traffic, because it usually doesn't have like its own rail, and we don't have like U-Bahn, like metro or public transport that has its own way of going and it's not dependent on traffic, so it's not so useful in Israel. And here I feel like it is most of the time very punctual, get on time, and the frequency is pretty high in compared to what I'm used to. So for me, it's an upgrade, definitely. It's not that cheap, but at least it's like efficient, relatively. Some people would say it isn't, but I didn't try the DB so much, so I heard there you have like way more delays and stuff like that. So the fifth thing I really like is the fact that I feel like the atmosphere is way calmer here than what I'm used to. In Israel, you're watching or listening to news around the clock, and it's stressful. It's not like I'm in a bubble, but I don't need to have it infused to my blood like 24/7. It's impossible for people to live like that. Yeah, it's just really, really calmer, and people let you get off from the U-Bahn before they hop on. It's like the little things that make everything less stressful most of the time. I mean, of course, bureaucracy is stressful on its own. Everything has pros and cons, but I really enjoy the calmness that I experience while living here. I feel like it's way calmer, and it's something that is very important for your well-being. So I definitely feel better mentally. The sixth thing that I love about living here is the freedom to be who you are, is the freedom to become what you want to be, and the fact that no one is like meddling in your business that much. You just tell people that you're a YouTuber and they're like, cool, so awesome. And like people in Israel probably will say, oh, why? Why not? Don't you want family? And like you're 29, your clock is ticking. So it's less pronounced here, I think. You probably have it if you have like more like closer people to you. So for me, it also helps with the calmness. Then I can just do stuff. And since I'm here, I've done so many things, so many projects, my own projects that I postponed for so many years, like this YouTube channel, and like starting my own website that I wanted for like ages. You can visit it. I have links down below. Yeah. Some other stuff that I really, really like about Berlin is the fact that there are so many parks here and so much of like greenery around the city, and you always can travel for like 30 minutes and you're like in a forest. So I feel like it's amazing, and I really don't have it in Israel, and not in the easiest way to get there. I mean, it's so hard. You have to have a car, and I don't drive. So yeah. Another amazing thing is that you can travel in Europe and also to other places. It's way cheaper to travel from Berlin than to travel from Israel. I don't know why. In Europe, I get it, but like, for instance, to Japan, it's like twice the price usually from Israel than from Berlin, from what I looked for. Because I really, really want to go to Japan, and I guess it will be next year, because I'm like aiming to it and it's one of my targets for next year. I need to be realistic. But in the meantime, I can travel like to close cities. Last year I've been to Amsterdam. You can go check my food guide from there, right there. And it cost me only like 60 euros back and forth, which is nothing, and it's amazing. Buses that are way cheaper to places, it will take you a lot of time to get there, but I mean, it might be worth it. So I definitely want to travel more this year, right after I'll find an apartment, because this is a huge struggle here in Berlin. Yeah, I don't know, I feel like the things that I mentioned, the clean slate and the cost of living and the public transport and the calmness and everything together makes the freedom possible for me to do. So I feel like I have more artistic freedom and I can actually do my things. If I was working the same amount of time in Israel, I couldn't live the way I live now. I don't live excessively, for sure. I know like my limits, and I live by the budget that I'm at, but still I could never do it there. So despite all the struggles and a hard time being away from people I love, I miss you guys. And also like to miss people is actually getting you closer to them, because when you don't have the chance to miss them, then you might take them for granted. And when you're away, then you value friendship and family. Being far away make things like more accurate to you. I mean, you understand better things. I don't know what is going to happen, but I'm sure that this experience gave me like perspective of things, and whatever I'll do it from a better point of view. Being like almost 100% independent and I'm the owner of my life kind of way, yeah, it gave you so much. At least it gave me a lot. Some of the things are really hard for me still, but having that freedom, it's priceless. I just love it here most of the time, even though the weather is usually terrible. Though today is amazing outside. It's amazing outside sun-wise, but temperature-wise it's pretty low. We value sun so much. After moving from one of the sunniest countries in the world to a not so sunny country and city, like a pretty gray city, you value way more like bright sky, bright blue sky and beautiful sunsets, because I mean in Tel Aviv most of the sunsets are amazing, like breathtaking, most of them. But here, because of the gray sky that are common, the sunsets not always are amazing, but when they are, then you're like, oh my god, this is so beautiful. So it's like the little things that you stop and value more when you don't have them that much. And for me, I feel like it's good because it gives me that perspective that I need all the time. Yeah, and even though sometimes I feel lonely and sometimes I feel like this is too much for me and I'm not strong enough, then I show myself that I am. I keep growing from this experience. I really love Berlin, and if there are other things that interest you regarding living in Berlin or other places that you want to see, then also comment down below. And I hope I made you want to visit or move. So I hope you liked it, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like that, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button so you get notifications when I upload new videos. I hope I'll see you in the next video. Bye!